Hello and welcome back to my channel, Charlie Making Toys. I'm Charlie and this is a short video series where I will talk about collectible art toys from Japan called Sofubi or soft vinyl toys. But what exactly are Sofubi? Sofubi is actually a combination of words written in Japanese katakana phonetics as sofuto binuru, which literally means soft and vinyl. It's sometimes even written out as Sofubi. While there are many types of vinyl toys and art toys out there, Sofubi toys are usually referring to the specific style of soft vinyl toy that is mainly produced in Japan. Japan has a long and rich history with toys, but post-World War II, they began producing and exporting these soft vinyl toys. Each decade brought a new craze of popular character types such as the kaiju monsters in the 1960s, Sentai superheroes of the 1970s, and the mecha robots of the 1980s. It wasn't until China became involved in mass-producing toys in hard plastics that Sofubi began to become less popular. During this time, amateur artists and geeks alike realized they could actually produce and customize their own toys of their favorite characters at home through resin garage kit models. Which is when an independent designer would sculpt a figure and make multiple copies using silicone molds and resin casting, then package and sell an unassembled, unpainted figure to other collectors and crafters. It wasn't until the 21st century that these designer art toys, urban toys, or indie toys began to take hold worldwide and become more common as a standard household name amongst toy collectors. These independently produced toys created by indie artists and amateur toy designers are now highly sought after as pieces of art, rather than a child's plaything. While silicone and resin crafting materials are more common to find and easier to acquire and utilize for various at-home art projects, they are still considered an expensive and difficult material to use. Unfortunately, the production process for soft vinyl toys is so complicated and expensive that they can really only be made through professional factories and artisans. I will go more in-depth into the details of the process of making an actual Sofubi toy in later videos, but just a quick rundown for now. Basically, an artist will design an original character, then sculpt it into three-dimensional figure traditionally or digitally. Using the prototype model, you would then make a wax copy if it wasn't originally sculpted in wax. This wax copy will then be sacrificed by being melted down and transformed into a bronze metal mold through an electroplating technique. This creates a hollow metal version of the original sculpt that will then be used to produce multiples of the original model in soft vinyl material through a rotocasting technique that involves a centrifuge machine and boiling vats of oil and water. Simple enough, right? Except those last few steps are next to impossible to do on your own without trained professionals and expert tools and machinery. Because of this complex process, Sofubi are actually extremely difficult and expensive to produce and are usually made in small batches through factories. Since Sofubi are created and self-produced by independent, amateur, and professional artists and designers, they typically run in very limited editions that are often sought out and coveted by collectors. One way that Sofubi artists create a demand from new and returning customers for their toys is by making different versions of the same model. This is done in two ways. The first is called a colorway variation, where the toy will have a different color scheme airbrush painted in the same pattern as the original. This can easily change the theme, mood, and feel of the model that many collectors enjoy. The other is a custom paint variation where the artist will create a special limited edition, hand-painted version of their Sofubi model. These are even more rare as they are individually painted with customized features by hand and feel more exclusive because they have that real artist touch to them. There's also the collaboration between two or more designers that combine either their character or painting skills to create an original version that is just as special and limited. Another feature of Japanese Sofubi toys is the packaging. More often than not, these toys won't be boxed up but actually sold in loose plastic bags sealed with a cardboard header stapling it closed. Though I have noticed a recent trend amongst modern Sofubi toy packaging is to use flat-bottom zipper bags with stickers as the label too. As for actually purchasing these toys, you can either buy directly from the artist through their own personal web shop or, in some instances, at a store that specializes in art toys. Another way to find these toys is through capsule toy machines known as gachapon or gashapon in Japan, where they have little mini versions of them available in rare places. Because these toys are made in such limited runs, many creators will have to sell them via an online lottery. Now, this isn't a lottery to win a free toy, as many people would think, but a lottery for the opportunity to purchase the toy, which is an extremely common practice in Japan. Conventions and events are another way to track down your favorite artists and buy directly from them in person, such as the yearly Design Festa or biannual Wonderfest artist conventions in Tokyo. Or more local to my area, the first ever Sofukon in Osaka recently. There's even instances such as the mini artist event called Popbox that travels around to different loft department stores throughout Japan. Then there's a famous secondhand Nirvana store known as Mandarake that is also a good resource, but really only if you're tracking down vintage toys. And I would suggest to avoid purchasing any recently released modern Sofubi toys from online auctions, as this actually harms the original artist's business because of resellers stealing profits. Always try your best to support the original artist and not the reseller. Another great resource for Sofubi toys is actually this magazine, Creator Sofubi. This is a fantastic publication, though unfortunately I believe only in Japanese language, but it has amazing photography and interviews with different artists and designers, and information on how to make your own Sofubi toys too. I'll put a link to it down below. One great thing about modern Sofubi is that the majority of the creators are actually quite tech savvy and easy to find and follow on different social media platforms. You can support them directly and also see some fun behind the scene photos of their toys and get notified for future releases and events that they will be participating in. Twitter is the best place to follow Japanese Sofubi artists. And don't worry if you can't speak Japanese, because a simple like or retweet can support them immensely. Plus, there's always Google Translate. Speaking of which, you can follow me on various social media platforms too. Just visit my website, charliemaiken.com, to find all my handles. Well, I hope that was informative and you learned something about the world of Japanese Sofubi art toys. I will add links to the more specific things I mentioned earlier in the video description for easy reference. And a big thank you to Nishihara Shohei for sharing his adorable banana dog production pictures that I used earlier in the video. If you have any further comments, please comment down below. Thank you for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe to keep updated on my progress of crafting my very own original Sofubi toys. If you're unsure of what to comment, just write something like, "I love Japan" or "I love toys" to help with the YouTube algorithm. And since these videos are quite infrequent, don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when I post a new video. Again, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye!